Hello everyone, my name is Hannah Hemberger and this is my Module 4 for EDL 856, Understanding My Community. Some customs and traditions within the Argonia School District include, when I think about it as a whole, I think of pride. Argonia is a very small town of 500 people about, and the community members take pride in every single thing that they do with their businesses and with the school. It's a very rural community. It's mainly farm life surrounding it. We are in the Sumner County. We are in Sumner County in Kansas, which is produces the most wheat in the United States. We are a very religion-based community in that we have 7 different churches within our town. Something that it is also known for is that everybody knows everybody's business because we are so small. It's hard to keep things a secret or from people. We do host Argonia Days once a year. This is like our town festival. The Cloudbusters rocket launch, where people come from all over the state, many other states, to launch rockets because we are so flat. You can see for miles. We have a Santa Day, which is where businesses come in and have booths. It's a pretty big day in Argonia. We do host an Easter egg hunt still. Within the school, they have prom. We have an after prom committee that helps support that. And then within the school, we are just a very athletic and academically inclined. Football, basketball, homecoming. We paint the windows in the street downtown. It's a big deal. Everybody comes back into town for these. We have Christmas and spring programs that feature our band and vocal programs, and those are a big hit as well. So basically, there's not hardly anything to do in our town because it's so small. So everybody does any athletics or be a part of any academics that they can be. For our population, Argonia, so in 2017, it was a total of 483. Within the school, there is 141 students, 74 elementary, 67 middle school, high school. For the gender, there's 37% are male, 63% are female. And for our race, I found this graph from 2010. So we are primarily a white and Caucasian community. We have some Hispanic, but like I said, it is primarily that, and I'll get into more of that later in my presentation and what that does and how that changes the vibe within our community. Communication channels that we utilize. So for Facebook, this is probably the biggest one that everybody uses and sees is the City of Argonia has one, the Argonia School District has a page, and then also the Argonia High School principal has one where information is shared. We do have a newspaper. It is primarily the Conway Springs Star and also the Argonia Argosy. And so articles are submitted there. They cover our activities and events just like they would Conway. The newspaper is just based out of Conway Springs, which is about 15 minutes from Argonia. We do have a school website. There is also a City of Argonia website. The superintendent puts out a school newsletter every month that gets mailed out to all members of the community. And then there is a one-call system that the school utilizes to share important information quickly. Within the community, different groups that are formed is our parent-teacher organization. This is a very big organization for our elementary school. They just raised $20,000 in 2 years to purchase new equipment for our playground at the elementary. So that was very cool. They played a very big part of that. And it was completely 100% donations and fundraisers. There's a student council both at the high school, middle school, and elementary level. There's a wellness committee that includes faculty and students at both the high school, middle school, and the elementary. There's many athletic groups, co-curricular groups. We do have an Argonia Alumni Association that gets together every May over Memorial Weekend. They have a big meal and everybody comes back together and socializes. We have a youth group, which is where all of the churches come together and they host a group on Wednesday nights, one for middle school and one for high school. And so part of our district policy is you have to have all practices and activities done by 6 o'clock on Wednesday nights for church activities. And then also another policy with that is no activities happen on Sundays. There is a kids club after school on Wednesdays for elementary students. They walk to a church and they help them with their homework and do activities with them and just keep them for a couple hours every Wednesday night. We have a Meals on Wheels program, which is with our manor, and high school students go and help deliver those meals every week. And then our Salter Museum we're home of the first woman mayor, and so there is a group that helps run the Salter Museum and keep it up to date with the historical website and everything. For leadership within Argonia, we have a city council that consists of 5 council members and a mayor. They meet one Monday every month, and community members are welcome to attend those meetings as well. We have a Lions Club. And then within the school district, we have a superintendent slash principal of elementary. So he does both of those positions. And then we do have a principal of the middle school and high school, and we have 7 board members that serve on the local board of education. For economic conditions with Argonia, most people do travel outside of Argonia for employment, as there's not very many businesses there. But there are some businesses that do help keep Argonia running and continuing. We have Kaiser Manufacturing, where they make airplane parts. The Conway Bank, which is the only bank that we have in Argonia. USD 359, so the school district. And then the PAC Cooperative, which is a co-op for agriculture. We do have a Quick Pick, which is our gas station. This has actually been shut down a few times in the past 10 years since it's been open, and it's pretty detrimental when it's not open, as we have to go to you can go to the co-op to get gas, or you have to go to other towns, and we don't have a convenience store, so it just makes things a little bit more difficult. Our average income per household here in Argonia is $41,000. So I think the average for state was $56,000. So we are pretty significantly below that. Political structure. So we have a city mayor who's in charge of the town with the council. We have a local school board that runs our school, as well as school administrators. Social tensions. So I feel like within a very small town, it's easy to kind of get sucked into some of these tensions instead of like remaining neutral and doing your background research on whatever it is, because people can be pretty chatty and inform those groups and catty and all of that. So we did have a school superintendent and principal, and she just retired after 23 years. So we have a new one this year, and he has some big shoes to fill, and I just kind of hear say of some backlash that's happening with him and how he's not doing things how they were done before. Same with teachers and coaches. It's small town, everybody talks. Somebody's not happy with the way somebody else is doing something or their kid's getting treated, and it just kind of spirals within the school district. The police chief hirings and firings, so we have gone through many police chiefs. We actually don't have one right now, but when we do hire one, some people really like it because we finally have a police chief. Some people don't like it because they don't like the person and how they're doing things, and so it just creates a lot of social tension. There's farmers with their cooperatives, so there was another big co-op built around Argonia, and that caused tension with like who was going to take their grains and their business to the new one, who's going to stay with the old, how it's going to better serve them in the long run. Residents with city council initiatives, so just not happy with the way things are handled and were done. And then we did have a water plant initiative. We received a bond for it, but there was just a lot of people that were unhappy with how that was handled and the way things went with it. Previous community efforts, so for bond elections, we had a water plant, so it did successfully get installed in 2018, which has been great for our water. You can now drink it safely. We had a new heat and air system put into both buildings of the school. This was a grant that the school district received as they were using old window units that were so super loud and very hard to teach over, and really weren't hearing. You couldn't really hear over them, and they were not very sufficient. And so we put this new system in, and it's supposed to, after 10 years, it paid for itself just with the savings with how new it is. New recreational facilities, we got a new swimming pool. It's a huge success. Kids love it in the summer. And we did have a flood a few years ago that resulted in getting a new high school gym floor, which was great. So power structures, um, this was kind of difficult to think about within our small school and our small town. But one thing that just jumped to mind is there is a family that supports our football team. We actually combined with another small town. And I guess the issue with it is this family's from the other small town, and so when they support the football team, yes, it supports our guys that play, but it's only that team. It's not like our basketball team or track or any of our clubs or music or band. So it's always kind of like, oh, football gets everything. They're kind of spoiled, just for the fact that family really supports them. And all of our churches do donate to both schools and, go above and beyond to help us and do what they can for our students. Multicultural issues. So we are home of the Red Raiders, and there's been quite a bit of backlash within for our school and really our league that we are in, with our um, mascot being a Raider, with an Indian head. But nothing's come about that, and we are still home of the Red Raiders. We just don't perform any of the acts that would get us into trouble or anything like that. And another issue is that we're primarily Caucasian, so it's very hard when families do move in that are of a different race, to kind of fit in, just because of what primarily is there and the old school way of thinking, etc. So with our school system, I can always tell what people think by social media. So a post will go on Facebook and you read the comments, and you can tell who they're talking about exactly because it's so small. Very informal conversations just in passing with you talk to so and so who talked to so and they're unhappy with this. So that's kind of how you can kind of get a feel of how things are going, what's going on. And then board meetings, just going there and hearing what people are saying and what their concerns are. So what I think that should be done to increase public understanding is to hold more site council meetings with the schools, just to relay information and make sure that everybody is on the same page, and then have open forums. We don't do that. I don't know if it's because we're so small and we feel like we, can, get the information out to everybody, but I think it would do really great to have those available for everybody. Um, for this learning objective, I believe that my assignment directly correlates to PLO 5 by showcasing current information about the community of Argonia, Kansas, in conjunction with Argonia School District. It's relevant to my current learning as, it's vital to understand the community that you are wanting to be a building leader in, to truly encompass that positive school and community relationship. That's what this whole class is about. And this assignment has definitely improved my understanding of the community of Argonia by having to research the facts and information I hadn't before. As a future leader, I understand the importance of doing your research about a community to secure that leadership position. When I think to some previous leaders that I've gotten to work with, they know the ins and outs of the community, what works, what doesn't, and who to talk to, who to get information from, that truly helps keep that relationship going, and knowing what the community has, what their beliefs are and what their values are. So thank you for taking the time to listen.